Hello, I'm Attorney General Alan Wilson. It's been an incredibly busy week, culminating with two major opinions coming out of the United States Supreme Court yesterday. I want to talk to you briefly about why I oppose the two federal mandates coming out of the Biden administration last fall, why I joined the lawsuits that ultimately ended up in the United States Supreme Court. The first lawsuit, or the first mandate, dealt with a mandate that the Biden administration wanted to put out through the OSHA law. And basically, it was created 50 years ago to protect workers from hazards that are related to their specific occupation, and not designed to protect them from some general hazard that might exist out in the world. And so OSHA was going beyond the authority that Congress had granted it. That is why I filed a lawsuit with 26 other states and a bunch of private employers to challenge that mandate. Yesterday afternoon, the Supreme Court ruled in our favor. It was a 6-3 decision with the 6 conservatives on the court and the 3 liberals in the minority opinion. And basically, they agreed with us. They said that OSHA exceeded its statutory authority. The conservatives on the court went on to make arguments that, the states and Congress might have the authority, but Congress has to be explicit in that authority, and states have general police power. But OSHA was basically legislating through administrative fiat. That was basically the end of the day. That's what they were doing. I was so pleased with that outcome. The next opinion that came out was another opinion where the Biden administration was trying to mandate that over 10 million healthcare workers would be compelled to get a vaccine if they worked in a facility that received Medicare or Medicaid reimbursement. Basically, the Biden administration says if a hospital or senior assisted living facility was receiving Medicare or Medicaid dollars, then they had to, as a condition of receiving those dollars, had to force or require their employees to get a vaccination. The majority of the court in this particular case, it was a 5-4 decision, unlike the 6-3 decision in the previous opinion. Chief Justice Roberts, Justice Kavanaugh, left the conservative side, went over and basically said there was a grant of statutory authority to the Secretary of HHS, allowing them to require those healthcare workers to get a vaccine. They based it on basically stitching together a bunch of administrative provisions in the Act, the federal law, that authorizes the distribution of Medicare and Medicaid dollars, and basically said that if you can administer the dollars, you have the authority to require people to adhere to conditions. The conservative wing of the court, which was basically Justice Thomas and Alito and Barrett and Gorsuch, basically said you had to read into a bunch of obscure provisions of the Act that dealt with administrative components of the law to basically find some inherent authority for the federal government to mandate 10 million Americans get a vaccine that they can't take off at the end of their shift. It's not like taking off a hard hat. It's being injected into your body, and it's based on a reading into administrative provisions of that particular federal statute. And so the conservatives on the court, minus Kavanaugh and Roberts, said you can't do that. But unfortunately, it was a 5-4 decision, and we lost that one. But with OSHA, we saved 84 million Americans from being compelled to get a vaccine against their will.